Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is one that I am very excited about, but I am hella nervous. This video is gonna be all about looking for beta readers. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. It's okay, I'm also excited. Mostly nervous, but also excited. So if you don't know, I've been writing this story for a while now. I have a playlist, I'll link it above and below if you want to get caught up, but basically I've been working on the story for a while, and last night, technically this morning, shortly after 5 a.m., I finished draft 4, but it's gotten to the point that most of the things that I really need to work on, I need outside opinions, and I need beta readers. So that's what this video is going to be. So I am looking for beta readers. I'm going to have a Google form linked down below. That's how I think it would be easiest for me to get people for beta readers. I haven't decided for sure how many beta readers I need. I've been looking at other people's videos and advice and suggestions and seeing kind of what would work best for me. And obviously it depends on how many people are interested in beta reading. I mean, if I only get like 3 people that are interested, I'll pick all 3 people. And anyways, I'm rambling because I'm uncomfortable. In this video, I'm going to be briefly talking about what the story is about if you haven't watched those videos yet, or you just want the information in one place. And then I'm going to quickly go over my beta reader sign up and questions and what kind of my overall expectations are, what I'm looking for, what I need, and yeah, we're just gonna go from there. So welcome to the video. I'm so nervous. To get the obvious things out of the way first, my story is called Monsters and Imaginary Friends. It is about a little boy who gets attacked by a monster in the middle of the night, and now his imaginary friend and the monster that lives in his closet have to team up to get justice and or revenge. It is a dark fantasy story that has a lot of whimsical elements to it. The vast majority of the story takes place in the imagination world, so it's a little bit nonsensical, but it's also kind of dark. I mean, it's about a little boy that gets attacked. One thing I do want to note and make very clear is there is a content warning for violence against children, and I just want to clarify that is physical violence. I have no sexual content whatsoever in this story, but there is definitely physical violence against a child. So if that's something that you're not comfortable with, no hard feelings, this story might not be for you, that is completely okay. This is also an adult book, but like I said, there is no sexual content, but there is, as I mentioned, violence, and there's some mild swearing, and the F-bomb is used twice. I guess I'll start off with my expectations, hopes, and timeframes on what I'm looking for beta readers. So I'm opening up the applications today. It is Sunday, May 10th by the time you're watching this. I'm going to leave the Google form open until the end of next Sunday, May 17th. And then anybody that I choose as a beta reader, I will reach out to by the end of that Friday, which is May 22nd. I'll reach out to you by the end of then with whatever email address you provide me, and then we'll just kind of go from there. I'm hoping to be able to get the feedback back towards the end of June, so June like 20th to 30th would be ideal, because if I could work on this for July Camp NaNoWriMo, that would be really great. But of course, if you know that it's going to take you longer than that, or if I get a lot of people saying, you know, that's a really busy month for me or whatever, and obviously with the state of the world, I know that everything's a little bit iffy right now, so that's actually one of the questions that I have in my questionnaire on if you think that would be realistic for you, and if everybody is saying no, obviously I'll adjust my own timeline, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for as of right now. The story as of right now is 63,000 words, so it is a little bit on the shorter side. If you're not good at converting word count to length, if I format it in a 6x9 typical novel, that's about 270 pages, if that helps at all. As far as what I am expecting as far as the feedback itself goes, I have not done in-depth line edits. I mean, I have polished it up, of course, but I haven't done a full deep line edit, so I'm not looking for stuff like spelling and grammar or anything like that. That's going to be my next step. Although if you do see me making the same mistake over and over and want to point it out, obviously you can, but I'm mostly looking for kind of big picture stuff. So I'm looking for the plot, the characters, how the story itself unfolds, how predictable it is. There's a couple of specific scenes that I have questions about, which I'm going to ask when we get to that step. But that's basically mostly what I'm looking for. And also just overall reactions. Like, I would ideally like this to be detailed, but also really casual. So if you're reading and you just laugh at something, or if you think something is sad or something makes you angry, like emojis are perfectly acceptable feedback. What I'm planning on doing is sending it out through Google Docs, although I do mention this in my questionnaire in a second, but if that doesn't work for you, we'll work something out if I do choose you as a beta reader but you don't have access to Google Docs, or if you've done beta reading in the past and you know a certain thing works better or worse for you, we can definitely work that out. But what I'm thinking is sending it out in sections, probably like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, or wherever it makes logical sense to break it up. I haven't decided yet. I don't want to send it all out at the same time because I'm worried that people will wait until the very end to get feedback and they might forget some things along the way. So I saw a lot of people advising smaller chunks will get more detailed information because it'll still be fresh in people's minds. So that's what I'm leaning towards, but again, if there is something that you know will work better or worse for you, definitely talk to me. We can definitely work something out. I do have to play around with Google Docs a little bit more in the next couple days because I want to get more familiar with it and its tools and its uses. But when I've done beta reading in the past, what I liked most is being able to like comment in the document itself, which honestly was usually like emojis and stuff because sometimes I just wanted to put like a heart face emoji or the laughing emoji. Thank you, comment, because I just think that sort of feedback is really valuable and I'm really curious about that kind of stuff. But then also have like a questionnaire at the end or specific guided questions of anything that I'm really specifically looking for. Also, obviously, I want this to be really comfortable. So if anybody has any questions along the way, I want them to be able to ask me about anything. If anybody needs to stop at any point to bow out, whether that means that life got busy or you hate the story or whatever, that's completely okay if you can't end up following through. Obviously, in a perfect world, everybody would finish the story and it would be great, but that's not always realistic and sometimes life gets in the way and I totally understand that. All that I ask is if you just let me know so I'm not waiting on you, and if it's just because you hate the story, if you want to just tell me quickly, I mean, don't be rude about it, but if you want to tell me like writing style is just terrible, I cannot get behind it, I mean, word it a little bit nicer than that, but you know what I mean. Obviously, I hope that people will get through to the end and finish the story, but if not, I'm not going to hate you. You know, even if we're friends, I'm not going to immediately stop being your friend because you didn't finish my story. Like, I understand. Also, one thing I want to mention, just in case anybody applies that has a YouTube channel or a blog or anything like that, I have no problem with anybody doing like beta reading vlog or anything. I've seen a lot of people do stuff like that. I would definitely be okay with that. I would just ask that people don't put any spoilers in the vlog, which I think would be very obvious, but just in case, comment, what are you doing? So I guess that's most of the overall information. I'm just going to quickly run through the questions on the Google form, which again is linked down below. I'll have it as the top link so it's really easy to find, but I'm just going to kind of go over it just to make sure that everything is clear and I haven't worded anything weird. So the first question is your name, straightforward. The second question is your online name or like your social media. So if I know you as a different name or if you go by something different online, you can let me know that. And then the question underneath that would be, which name do you prefer? Then I have your age, and this is basically just for data for myself to know what kind of people are thinking different things. If you're not comfortable giving your age, then you can just give me like between 25 to 30 or over 50 or whatever. Then I have preferred pronouns, which again, pretty straightforward, just whatever pronouns you're comfortable with, whatever pronouns you want me to address you as. If I'm doing like a beta reading vlog or something like that, when I'm discussing feedback, I'm not going to use anybody's names, but I just want to make sure that I use the right pronouns for anybody. And the last question in this first section is your email address so that I know how to get a hold of you. Pretty straightforward. The next question is basically you as a reader. So the first question is what genres you usually read. This is basically just so that I know kind of what kind of reader feels what kind of way about my book. You can list as many or as few as you want. You can be as specific or as vague as you want. It's completely up to you. The next two questions is what kind of things do you love in a story and what kind of things do you hate in a story? So this could be specific genres, specific tropes, specific plot devices. Basically, if I know ahead of time that you hate, I don't know, a certain trope that I specifically use, I want to know that ahead of time just so that I can kind of predict some of your responses. The next question, again, is purely just for data. It's no right or wrong answer, but it's do you consider yourself more of a reader or a writer? And then I have reader only, mostly reader, 50-50, mostly writer, writer only. And that's basically just so I can kind of understand your perspective on your feedback a little bit better. The next question is why do you want to be a beta reader? I don't need an essay answer. It's basically just a quick question of, hey, why do you want to read this book? You know, is it because you're curious about my writing? Is it because you're curious about the story? Is it because there's something specific in it that makes you want to beta read? Is it just because you like beta reading in general? Whatever it is, just let me know. The next couple of questions, I mean them in a super casual way. I'm not, being really critical on anybody here. But the first question is, have you been a beta reader before? Yes or no? And then if yes, you have been a beta reader before, did you finish it? So for that, it would be, did you finish the whole story and give the author the feedback they were asking for? And then yes, no, or not applicable. And then if no, you didn't finish, why? Was it that you got really busy? Did something come up? Did the author not need your feedback anymore? Was there something in the story that made you not continue it? Just basically so that I know, and so that I can kind of, know what to expect and know if there's something that I should be looking out for. And then the third and final section is if you get chosen as a beta reader. The first question in this section is, do you have access to Google Docs? And if not, what method works best for you for getting the story, getting the feedback, etc.? This is my first time getting beta readers, so I'm really open to other people's suggestions, and if there's something that won't work for you, I would really like to know that. The next question I already explained, it's about the word count and when I would like to have the feedback by, which is June 20th to 30th ideally. And then I said, would that be possible for you? If not, what is realistic? So if you know that you can definitely do this, but it'll take you to the end of September, let me know. I can do this, but it will take me to the end of September. And then if I think that you'd still be a good beta reader anyways, I'll be like, okay, that's completely fine. I just won't be looking for your answers by the end of June. The next question is similar. It's realistically, how much do you have on your plate right now? And do you expect to be busy in the next few months? And this isn't an automatic disqualifying answer. If you say, yeah, I have 40,000 million things that I'm doing right now, and I'm definitely super busy, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to automatically put you in the no pile, because I'll probably be doing multiple rounds of beta readers, so it'll just make me know, okay, maybe I'll hold on to this person's name for the next round. The next question is one that I personally think is very important. It is about the content warning. So it says, this story contains physical violence against children. Is that something you're comfortable reading about? Is there somewhere specific you need to draw the line, or any relevant triggers that I should know or warn you about? So basically, I just want to be absolutely sure that people are going to be comfortable with this story, that I'm not going to be upsetting anybody or triggering anybody with any content. So please be honest about this. If there is maybe a certain type of violence or a certain amount of violence that you can stomach, but not after this point, or certain things that you just personally do not want to read about, please let me know. Again, obviously, there are no hard feelings. That's okay. I understand that not every story is for everybody, and the last thing that I want is to trigger anybody, upset anybody. And if you have any specific questions about the triggers, or if there's anything you're concerned about, you can definitely reach out to me. My email is always in the bottom of my description. I also have Twitter. It's @Tebuggy, which is also linked under there. The next question is optional, and that's, would you be interested in a manuscript swap? So if you're also a writer who's looking for beta readers, or looking for beta readers down the line, if you'd be interested in swapping, so you'd be beta reading this for me, and then I would beta read something for you in the future or whenever you're ready, if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know, because, I think that would be fun. And the very last question is, again, an optional one, but it's, do you have any questions for me? So if there's anything that you need clarification on, anything that you want to make sure, if it's your first time beta reading, maybe you want to know something about the expectations or the format, maybe there's something that I haven't quite explained well enough, maybe there's something about the story that you're wondering, anything like that, if you have any questions. So yeah, those are all of the questions. I think that's all the information I need to give. Just to reiterate, the Google form is available now, linked down below. It will be available until the end of Sunday, May 17th, so that is 1 week from the day this video goes up, and I will let you know by the end of the day, Friday, May 22nd. So that is all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please click the like button to let me know, and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!